Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the King and I Life podcast, hosted by myself, Soul Touch of the Poet, and my family in here.
It's your girl Phoenix in his house.
What y'all know?
Hey, what do you think? I was being rude, son. So Lex.
Hey, we getting back in the fray in here. You know what I'm saying? We working on it here. But hey, as always, follow us on whatever podcast platforms that you subscribe to. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Patreon, TikTok, LinkedIn. What am I forgetting? I know I'm forgetting something.
Twitter. You did say Instagram, right?
If it's social media,
so.
we probably there. Just look for us.
There you go. That makes it real goddamn simple.
Last but not least, if you want to send us an email, hit us up at that KINGANDEYE369@gmail.com. Again, that's King and I 369@gmail.com.
Yes, indeed. Being that this is going to air Thursday morning, we have a dope conversation for y'all Thursday evening. We're going to talk about final arrangements.
Yes, sir.
Something that a lot of people are not mentally, physically, emotionally, or financially prepared for.
Nope. So we are going to have a gentleman on us, with us. He's going to help us out in that department. He's going to basically break it down, what we need to do to help prepare ourselves, what questions we need to ask when we are having someone to make those final arrangements. But
should be a lot to learn.
I think it's going to be a good one, man. He's a cool cat, and yeah, we're looking forward to having him on, Mr. Freddie Adams.
Yeah. And before we go any further, high school friend of mine, fellow brat from Mannheim, Germany, Mr. Otis Bell III hit me up. Anybody out there looking for employment? He's working for this company called doitoutdoors.com. Pretty much that's driving the trucks with the banners and stuff on them, promoting different types of campaigns and stuff like that. So if you want that information, hit us up. But in the meantime, the website is www.doitoutdoors.com. If you want to contact him personally, hit us up in our inbox or email us for that contact information from him so he can give you more info on that particular job.
As a rolling advertisement kind of thing?
No, actually, they're driving, like the size of the truck is like a big U-Haul truck, and they're pretty much going different states and cities and stuff like that. He also said that they have the opportunity for people to work local if they can't travel. But sound pretty good. He said he's never been to New York before, so he's having this opportunity up there. He's been up there for a couple of weeks. Said he's been all over the place. So he said pay is good. They got a lot of incentives and stuff like that.
Heck yeah. But tonight we have another one of those topics. Here lately, we've been hearing a lot about politicians and how they are getting themselves into jams, especially ones with their co-workers. But anyway, we're going to be talking about, it's the governor of New York, right?
Yes, the governor. Damn, I'm thinking mayors, but yes, the governor and Mr. Andrew Cuomo.
AKA Octopus
that's the guy.
But the gentleman, it has been in the news here lately. pertaining to sexual harassment. I know this is a topic we've talked about in the past, but again, we find ourselves here. So, as they say, we're going to chop it up and break it down for you all.
And quite honestly, I'm not understanding how these people keep getting themselves there. I mean, I understand it, but I don't understand it. Y'all go ahead, kick it off, because I don't know.
All right, son. So, go on and open this up for us.
All right. Well, my thing is this, right? Anytime you are in the direct public eye like this gentleman has, obviously worked very hard to get into the position that he's in. He has a lot of people depending on him, including his city, to actually be derailed because of a scandal, especially a sexual scandal, is, I can't even say sad anymore. It's kind of like, how ignorant can you be? You've been here before. You know this spotlight. You watch who knows how many other countless of politicians go through the same damn thing, and you allowing yourself to be caught up in this position? Come on, man. There is no, I'm sorry. There is no, well, I didn't mean it like that. You got to be smarter than that. Come on.
But I know I'm going to be the bad guy when I say this with the women.
We're all going to be bad guys after this conversation, but you're going to be the first one. I'm just throwing it out there.
For me, and I am a woman, I don't understand how you can be. It's sad both ways. What I'm going to say is it's sad for both, not just the woman and the man. A man is fearful of being alone with a woman 9 times out of 10, because if a woman says that she done something to him, automatically he done it. It's no more innocent until proven guilty in that space. He's automatically guilty. But also, for the woman, why, if you are uncomfortable, why stay? When your alarm bells go off the very first time, I don't care if it's a brush that you feel uneasy about, or maybe somebody pushes your hair back for you that you weren't expecting. At what point do you say, hey, my spidey senses are tingling, let me remove myself from this situation? Like, when do you say to yourself, I'm uncomfortable, let me end this interaction right now? I will look like an asshole 10 times out of 10 for following my instincts, rather than someone saying, oh, well, Kim got touched on inappropriately because, she was out with so-and-so and he touched her. First of all, if somebody touches me inappropriately, I don't care if we're in the middle of a Million Man March, I'm going to say something. I don't care if we in church and Deacon Greg patted me on my bottom on my way to the bathroom. Deacon Greg going to be put on blast. Stop holding it until I don't want you to be afraid to speak up, especially when it's someone that is in the public eye. Because if they're doing it to you, they're going to do it to someone else. The flip side of that, and why I said I'm probably going to be the bad guy, is y'all know how freaking men are. No, it's not okay, but we don't live in a perfect world, and we know the kind of creeps that are in these high power positions. They think they are above the law, so please act accordingly. No, you shouldn't have to feel like that. But the reality of it is, you do have to feel like that. You have to protect you. As for men, y'all know these little chicken heads want to come up. So why put yourself in a position to be that come up? I don't get it. From either party, I don't get it.
Now it's my turn to be the bad guy.
Well, son isn't exactly the bad guy.
Just grab them in the biscuits.
So we are in a space in our society to where if we have an opinion on common sense shit like this, we're victim shaming. To piggyback off of what you just said, me in my lifetime, I don't know any woman who has been in a situation where whether you in school, at the store, wherever, and a dude grab your ass and a female turn around and slap the shit out of him or put him on blast. Mm-hmm. And let's just look at this from a high school point of view, because I've seen this shit happen plenty of times in high school. A popular dude or a bum ass dude grab a girl ass, the first thing she doing is turn around and slapping shit out of him. And she's putting him on blast to shame him, because people be like, oh damn, she slapped the shit out of him. And then rumors get started. But why you slap shit? Oh, then they grab my ass, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, so I don't understand why they're holding on to this. And then also, to piggyback off of what you said, I don't understand why these dudes in power feel that it's okay for them to do this dumb shit. It's very clear. It's very clear that certain individuals get away with this shit. Specifically, when the Trump guy was running for president and they had him caught on audio talking about just grabbing by the pussy. He had all kind of people coming out the woodwork saying, oh, he did this, he did that, but nothing happened. So when it comes to shit like that, it's like, well, damn, he got away with it. Maybe I can. But then it's like, well, shit, all these other jokers didn't get away with it. So why do I think I can? So again, I just don't get it.
Go ahead, son.
At this point, right? You have wealth. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you have fame to a certain degree. You have power to a certain degree. But on the flip side of that, you have people who are looking up to you. Mm-hmm. You are having people who are depending on you, i.e. your family, your staff, your city, who have, helped you get into that position. So you have all these things apart from that position where people are looking for you to do the right thing. But you still choose to put yourself in a position where you have let your power and authority go to your head, where you feel comfortable enough to either approach these women or flirt with these women or touch these women inappropriately.
True.
It's kind of like you're shitting where you eat.
Yeah.
So why in the hell would you want to do that? I mean, you have enough money that, hell, if you wanted to buy some, you could buy some off the clock, of course. But it's just, it blows my mind that you are in this position where you have so much going in your favor, but you're willing to risk that all, messing with, something you can just pay for and be done with, and nobody knows the difference. But it's crazy to me.
So I don't know. I think for me it's I don't see them just coming out the gate like that. For as long as I've been breathing, men and women both lay the groundwork to be comfortable enough to approach somebody in a certain kind of way.
Yeah,
True.
I can agree with that.
You know, whether it's in the form of flirting or if it's in the form of being open to be flirted with.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if you are in a professional position, both of you should stay on that pedestal. I'm professional, you professional. So we're not going to be coy. We're not going to let little slick stuff slide because it's the slippery slope that starts out as flirting that turns into harassment. Because you didn't say anything whenever he was, oh, you look really nice today. Oh, your legs look great in that dress. Or for her, oh, you smell really good. That cologne makes me just want to get close to you. Cut that crap out because those are the cracks that lead to people kicking in doors. You go too far because, and it's sad that we live in a world where a simple compliment can be misconstrued. But I have learned that one simple compliment is not what it is. It's several compliments, and each one of them are bolder than the one before because they are feeling you out. They're seeing how far you want to go, how far you will let them take you. So for me, it's as soon as it's happened and I process what has happened, I'm gonna check the situation every time. Um, a boss I had in the past approached me and was like, I want you to go back to my room with me. I'm in town for the night. Won't you come and stay? Knowing I was married. But the fact was, he had so much money and he had done it to so many other women. He didn't think two thoughts about approaching me in that manner at all. The reason he felt comfortable to say it to me wasn't because of the flirting or anything like that, because there was none. It was because he had done countless of my coworkers that way. Come over. Oh, what do you need? I got $700 to blow tonight. Why don't you, take off work early? I'll give you the day off and we can go to the mall. And then afterwards, you can come to my room and we can hang out and drink and cuddle. He done it to countless women. And when he done it to me, I put a lawsuit on that ass immediately. With no shush. No. I'm going to sue your ass for sexual harassment. You know better. This man has money. He had a nice, normal, loving family. He had it all. But you know what he told me when I said, why would you do that? I'm just a guy. I'm just a hornball.
That's
So it's a mindset. And when you have money and you have power, you feel like you can do what you want to whoever.
yeah.
I would agree with that statement.
Yeah, and I want to piggyback off of that too, because there are guys out there who have that habit of doing this over and over and over again, and they run into so many women who are either down with it because they see the shiny thing dangling in front of their face. They either go along with it because they feel intimidated or whatever. Some go with it because they're just naive, period, think it's not a big deal. And then there are, just those situations to where that dude is just really that dirty dude.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when they run across certain women, because they've done it so much and got away with it so much, or it's come easy so much, or they've come into these women who feel so intimidated that they won't say anything. They just feel that they can do it to any woman. But then they get a reality check when that woman either punch them in the face or throw a lawsuit on them or this, that, and the other. But my thing is this: as a dude, you need not think that because you swinging a dick and money that you can do this to any woman.
Me and Soul Toucher were talking earlier about one particular, I believe he was a governor or a mayor or someone in a prominent position like that, where he insisted that anytime there's a female in the room with him, whether it be an aide or an assistant or someone else, within his organization, there had to be someone else in that room with him. He just refused to be in any room with any female by themselves. And, I agree with him, because when you're in a position like that, it only takes one allegation, or one situation where things are misconstrued or, misdirected. And here you go, you find yourself in a position where allegations are being thrown around your way, or rumors are being, displayed out to the public. So I get that. But on the flip side of that, when you have certain politicians who, again, think that because of my power, I can do whatever I want to, and there are no repercussions behind that, those are the ones I think that are very delusional. Because they've gotten away with it, like you were saying, Phoenix, so many times before, that, it's not going to happen to me. And if you're thinking like that, you're definitely setting yourself up for, whatever situation comes your way, meaning losing your position, lawsuits, sexual harassment lawsuit, losing your family, and so on and so forth. Money can't buy you self-dignity, self-worth.
That.
And give
100%.
Damn how much you got. And of course, there are situations where some people have been able to get away with certain things, i.e., our former president. I still don't see how in the hell he got into office with all that coming forth before he even got in there.
Right.
But I will say that with this particular situation, he's already in position. The allegations have already hit the fan. He's come out and said, I apologize. And there was a moment where he was like, I'm not leaving. But then more and more allegations started coming, and people in his circle like, you know what? You might want to reconsider that.
Yeah, but for me, it's that one. This is a slippery slope. For me, I get iffy in these types of situations, because now that someone has blown the whistle, anybody can jump in and say, yeah, he did it to me too. Like he literally is on a sinking ship, and anybody can punch a hole in his boat, and anybody can throw more water in it without not even an oar or a bucket at this point. Meaning no proof, there's no proof for anybody else, because at this point one person said it. So as soon as everybody else says, yeah, he did it to me. Oh yeah, that one time he did. Or, oh yeah, he said something to me, in 2010. It's just the dog pile for me that I just kind of sit back, and I have to just say to myself, if and it's going to go back to victim shaming in people's eyes, but I literally am not shaming the victim. I need you to be strong enough to stand on your own too when something happens to you. And if you don't feel like you can stand on your own too, then go to somebody you trust and let them help you stand up. But don't wait until it's 3 and 5 and 6 people in on one person, and then you step in and say, yeah, he did it to me too. Because it's when people, and it might not be correct, but us as a society, we start to say, now wait a minute. All of you all are saying this now, but why weren't you saying something before? Because me working with victims, they find strength in not letting it happen to the next person. That's one of the biggest things is I don't want this to happen to somebody else. And I get it's men of power, it's men that have money. And I find that in most of those cases, if they're offered a little bit of hush money, they take it and they go on about their business. So for me, it's not that you didn't want it to happen to somebody else because you took money and you shut your mouth for it. But now that somebody else is coming forward, here you go, telling your truth, your story, but you took money, and because you took money and you were quiet, it's happened to somebody else. Those are the victims I truly have a problem with. Y'all can hate me and say what you want, but at the end of the day, if something happened to me, I would do whatever it took for it not to happen to the next person. I don't care what you offer me. That's just me. My 2 wooden
Yeah.
nickels.
I definitely can agree with you on that. And again, it's not about victim shaming. It's about being able to not want this to happen to the next person. It's also, for me, it's like, at what point in people's lives did they feel like they didn't have a voice? Like, you're telling me this happened to you 10, 15 years ago, and you told absolutely nobody? Like, nobody at all? I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but I find it difficult for me to believe that, when 10, 15 people come out, well, in the case of Cuomo, right now the number's at 11. To me, I find it difficult that out of these 11 people, none of these people who are saying they're victims didn't say anything to anybody. I know there's situations where people say, well, they go tell somebody and they say, well, don't tell nobody that I told you this because I don't want the spotlight on me. I don't want this to happen. I don't want that to happen. But at this point, it's like, well, if you're worried about that, why even open your mouth? One, but for two, if you're going to open your mouth and tell your best friend, then you might as well tell it to somebody that matters so that this situation can be rectified and this person won't have the ability to do it to you again or do it to anyone else.
And by no means am I saying that he's in the clear. If he was going to fight the allegations and say I didn't do it, he should have held on to that to the bitter end. But the moment that he was deciding, okay, well, I'll apologize, or okay, well, that means you're guilty, and you should have stepped down immediately. It shouldn't have been I'm not going nowhere and I'm not this. If you knew you were guilty, then you should have went ahead and stepped down. For me, I'm not going to apologize if I know I'm not guilty. So his apology made him guilty to me because I ain't going to apologize at all. I'm not even going to say, well, I'm sorry that you felt like our encounter was that, but that's not how I took it. I'm not saying I'm sorry. I'm going to speak my truth. Well, that ain't how I remember the events that night, but hey, whatever their truth is on them. I still ain't apologizing. Apologies are because you've done something you know you weren't supposed to do. Period, point blank. I can't see any outcome for him other than stepping down. That's it. I need to, because he's saying he's sorry and he is guilty, what is his punishment? Because he didn't get fired. He quit. What is the punishment? What is the next step for him in all of this? I guess is what I want to know. Like, where does he go from this? Besides, he doesn't have a job. But think about the money he made at that job. He's got plenty of it.
Well, at this point, yes, he stepped down to avoid being what's the damn word? Impeached. But they're still going forth with the investigation, so he still could face criminal charges. But by him stepping down, from what I have listened to and understand, by him stepping down, he still can run again later on because he didn't get impeached. But the thing about it is, he still has to. This still has to go run its course.
Well, as of right now, I'm gonna hold my thoughts into the next segment. But again, we want to thank you guys for tuning in for part 1 of People in Power and Scandals. So
that's a good title for it.
So I just want to thank you guys again for tuning in with myself, Son Soul X, my brother Soul Toucher the Poet, and the lovely Queen Phoenix. And you guys can reach us at KINGANDEYE 369 at gmail.com. King and I 369 at gmail.com.
Yeah, that's it. That's that thing right there.
That's it. That's
and we'll be back at you to follow on with this conversation.
Yes, sir.